Now that we can actually sign in and sign out of our account, we're going to go on and talk about how we will remember a user, so how we build the Remember Me functionality. Again, extremely straightforward, simply because the auth attempt method, or the attempt method on the auth model, allows us to really easily just say, do we want to remember this user, yes or no? We don't actually have to write any of the functionality ourselves, which is the beauty of using Laravel's authentication system. So the only things that we need to do are we need to update the form to include a checkbox. We then need to go ahead and update the account controller under where we actually sign in, which will be around here. So if the auth is sort of successful around here, we want to go ahead and pass a remember variable in here, and we'll be doing all that, and this isn't going to take long at all. So let's go ahead and update our sign in page. So over into sign in, we need to create a new field here. So this is our sign in view. So we create a div with the class of field, and we'll go ahead and create an input. This is going to be the type of checkbox, the name remember, and an ID of remember. And the only reason I've given this an ID is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a label, and that's going to point to remember. So in here we'll just say remember me, and that will just allow us to click on the label. It's a little bit more user friendly. So if I click this, we can check it. We can check the fact that we want to be remembered. Now that's all well and good, but how do we actually sort of pass this in? Well, that's automatically passed because all input is passed to our account controller. Much like when we're accessing input get email and input get password, we'll now have access to input get remember as well. What we need to do is, within our post sign in method within our controller, we want to go ahead and create a variable called remember, and this is going to be a ternary operator. And what we're going to do is we're going to check whether the input has this remember field, because if we don't check this box, this input won't be sent with the request. So we want to check. We're now using a different method. We've not seen this one before. It's has. This is checking whether this is available or not. So we're checking whether input has the remember. If it does, we're going to set remember to true. Otherwise, we're going to set remember to false. And what this allows us to then do is, part of the attempt method, this is the first parameter, this array. The second parameter is a true or false value, which relates to whether you want to remember the user or not. And that's all we need to do. So we'll now go ahead and check this all works. I'm going to open up my resources tab. Under cookies and under localhost, you can currently see there's a Laravel session open. This is there whether you're signed in or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign in normally without checking remember me, and you'll see that this won't, nothing will be added to this this table here. Click sign in, and there we go. The Laravel session is set and I'm signed in. But let's go ahead and sign out and then sign in again, but check remember me, and you'll notice the difference here. So sign in. You'll notice now that we've got this other cookie here, remember, and then some sort of hash stuff. What this will then do is, when you return back to the site, this cookie should still be available because the expiry is longer. You can see that this expires in January 2019, as opposed to today with the session. And yeah, basically when you return, even if the session is killed, so if we delete this session here, when I refresh, I'm still signed in. The Laravel session is created again. So really, using the Laravel authentication system, that is how easy it is to allow your users to be remembered within your application.